So let's talk about emojis for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And what you're looking at is the TVE5 dashboard. And you'll notice that there are 4 emojis. But when you go to add an emoji to your event, if you click on the gear and you go to pick an emoji, you're probably just going to see the heart, the thumbs up, the lightning bolt, the clap, and the smiley face. Well, you can select any one of those 5. Those are what we call our system emojis. They're baked into the platform, and you don't have to do anything in order to do that. In fact, if I were to just click on the heart right here and click save, it will add the heart emoji to my sidebar. But if you want to add a custom emoji, which is a custom emoji is quite simply one that is not one of these 5, then you have to go down to the bottom, click add custom emoji, select the image. So if I were to just say, let's see, do I have anything? Oh, here we go. These are hands in prayer, right? The prayer emoji. Do you guys see that? Probably not.
No.
Yeah. All right. So for a moment, we're just going to show you my full screen. And there you go. So what I did is I clicked add custom emoji, and I was looking for a file that I could use as an emoji. This is a PNG file that I probably downloaded off Google Images or something along those lines, and clicked upload or click upload. And when you do that, you then click save down here at the bottom. And that will then bring that custom emoji into the list of emojis that you can select for that specific event. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the heart and just leave the prayer hands there and click save. And now you'll see prayer hands are there. So it's just about making sure that you have an image that you can upload. PNG files work great. Ideally, in an ideal world, it's probably a transparent PNG. So there's not a white border or white background around it. And you can upload custom emojis or emojis that are not the system emojis, which we call custom, into the emoji sidebar. And that works on any one of the templates. That's the same in all cases. The thing that's key, you have to remember after you click add emoji, you have to click save, not the big green save, but the smaller save right above it. So if I were to just show you that one more time, so right here, this little save icon right there, that's the one you have to save. This saves the custom emoji. And now you can actually then click save on the emoji panel, which adds that image. And you can actually add any image. This image that I just added was a really horrible emoji image, right? Because it's a detailed photograph. But technically, any image would work. What I would recommend is something that is a square. A square canvas. I think that we say, I'm going from memory, but I think we recommend 150 pixels by 150 pixels as the dimensions for, like best practices for the dimensions, but the system doesn't force you into that. So there you go. Hopefully that helps.
Do you want to just quickly show the production page, the output page as well?
Sure. So once you've set up your emojis and you're ready to either display those emojis on a television inside of your set, or use them in a way that would require a little bit of production knowledge to integrate them into your video feed, then you would go down to the production menu down here on the left-hand side and go to the emoji page. And when you click on that, there is a button up at the top that says view emojis. And when you click on that, it's going to load a black page. Now that black page doesn't look very impressive at this moment. But when somebody clicks on an emoji on the dashboard, so if we were to go into this particular event and log in as somebody, log in as somebody who's active. Yeah. Oops. So if we were to log in as somebody who's active and click on a few of the emojis and then go back to the black menu or the black window, you'll see that those then scroll up the page. So that is essentially how the emoji system works. There is one other thing that I'll say, which is if you want, right, this black is great if you're going to try and use some production hardware or software to remove the black and overlay just the emojis on top of your video feed. But if you want to just display these emojis on a television in your set, you may not want, so that your audience can see them and so that you can also see them, you may not want them on black. You may want something a little bit more custom to your event. So on that same production page, there's the option to upload a background. And I'm going to use this virtual event on virtual events background as my thing. And you'll notice, actually, this is a little very, very minor tweak that we made recently. The cancel button now says skip resizing. So if you don't want to actually resize your image, you just want to use the original, click skip resizing. And that will allow you to add a background image to your emoji page. So now if I were to refresh my emoji page, I have to actually remove the background color because the background color was black with 100% opacity. So I'm going to bring it down to 50%. And now my emoji page shows a darkened version of that image that I showed and the emojis floating up it. So what this allows you to do, I could, if I had a television on a stand and I wanted to, improve my set quality a little bit, I could have that in the camera view or perhaps off to the side with a secondary camera and, step over to the emoji screen when I want people to see the actual emojis that attendees are using. Other attendees won't see this. That emoji page is not a public page. It's just meant for producers of the event itself. And then you integrate this page either through physical set pieces like a television or through some hardware where you key out the background color and overlay those emojis either over your main video feed or in our case, in our studio, we have a big LED wall and we put a big image on that LED wall. And then we take the emojis, remove the black and layer them over top of the background. So those are some ways that you can use the emoji page. Some of them definitely require a little bit more advanced processes from a production perspective, but can really add some really cool value and interactivity with your attendees if done right.
So when we see emojis behind you, that is generated by you, not by attendees clicking on emojis.
No, it is 100% generated by the attendees clicking on emojis. What was happening right now while you were watching emojis float up the window is Chuck or Grant had logged in as an attendee and they were actually clicking on the emojis so that we could continue to see those floating up. It's 100% real.
But the background has to be behind you. Or
it doesn't have to be behind you. This Kyle, this is one of those things where we could get complicated really quick, right? So hypothetically speaking, if you were using your ATEM Mini, right, and you had an HDMI camera plugged into it, you could have a second computer plugged into that HDMI ATEM Mini or to another port on the HDMI. Sorry, I'll get there. Another HDMI port on the ATEM Mini, and that computer loaded full screen to the emoji page. And then when you want to show your attendees the emojis, you cut to it. Rosie, what are you doing? Right? So that's how you would do that, or one way that you could. Happy New Year to you too. That's one way that you could potentially do it. But it definitely, it adds a layer of complexity, right? If you're trying to keep your production simple. I guess another way that you could do it is you could have, you could go out and buy a television. We actually saw somebody do this. I'm trying to remember who did this. But if you actually go back into the Obvio Facebook page and look at videos that have been uploaded to that page, not photos, but specifically video, about 6 months ago, somebody had a television inside of their set, right? Like, so inside the field of view of their camera, and they had a computer loaded up to the emoji page and connected to that television. And then as people clicked on the emojis, they would float up the television screen. And they used their event logo as the background for the emoji page. So those are some of the ways that you could do it. It's definitely what I would, like I said, what I would call an advanced level move.
Okay.
But it's pretty awesome.
And Blue, I think Heather has some additional questions on that as well.
Sure.
All right. I love your background, your new purple. That's pretty cool. So quick question on this. Just going down that rabbit hole just a little bit, because I love that. It just adds another element. So and what I'm hearing you say is like, I could have another TV in the background, have it connected direct. Don't really even need an A to mini. It could just go direct with another computer, right? No? Yeah, maybe.
Yes, 100%. You could do that. That's exactly what, yeah, it doesn't include, that set design was just a computer connected to a TV, the TV specifically in just like, if I were to put the TV right here instead of that image, right?
Right.
That's what we're talking about doing. So just take down the photo, connect a computer to the TV, load up the emoji page, and watch emojis float up it.
Cool. That's great. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.